Okay, so this might be the most controversial video I've ever made. Am I about to offend an entire fan base? Maybe. Am I gonna regret it? Probably not, because today I am ranking every festival I've ever been to. And if your favorite one ends up at the bottom, don't come for me, okay? I'm just a humble girl with her own opinions, and we all have different experiences, but these are just mine, so buckle up. Coming in at number 11, we have Global Dance Festival. You may have never heard of this, and that's because it is very small and located in Denver, Colorado, where I used to live. I feel obligated to include it on the list because it is a festival that I have been to, but that's really all I have to say about it, because all around, it's pretty mid. Location, it's literally in a parking lot of the Denver Broncos Stadium. It's hot, because it's in the middle of summer. There's a few stages, the production is just kind of whatever. And one time I went and it got rained out and then people were storming into the venue. It was just utter chaos. Luckily, I did get my money back. Denver doesn't really have festivals. We have Red Rocks and we have lots of shows, but no festivals. So I thought it was cool. But now, being the spoiled girl that I am over here in California, I know better. If you can get a cheap ticket, worth it. Otherwise, pass. Coming in at number 10, we have another Denver festival, A Decadence. Now this one is on New Year's Eve and they do have it at a few other places. I think Arizona as well does Decadence. But Denver specifically is at the convention center and it is just the weirdest venue for a show. I mean, it has to be inside because January in Denver is freezing cold. But inside, it feels like you're at a high school gym rave. I will probably never go again. However, it was one of the first shows that I ever shuffled at in public. Like, Decadence might have been my shuffling debut, if you will. So, you know, respect for that. Coming in at number 9, we have Beyond Wonderland. Now, this is pretty low. And I actually didn't hate this festival. The whole theme is like Alice in Wonderland, which is like so cutie, and I actually loved all of the designs, the stage setup, all the cute little features and things. Insomniac always does a good job. Beyond Wonderland is at the NOS Center in San Bernardino, at least the one I went to. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that there was also one at the Gorge. If you've been to San Bernardino, you just know that it's just like not the nicest place around. You know, no offense if you live there, but you probably know what I'm saying. The music was good, a lot of variety of artists. I saw a lot of house, there was some techno there, like I saw Above and Beyond. Good vibes, pretty decent lineup. I would give it another shot, but I'm also not in a hurry to. You know what I would do actually? Scratch that. I'm gonna go up to the one at the Gorge. If you don't know what the Gorge is, look it up. It's the most stunning venue I have ever been to. It puts Red Rocks to shame, and I'm from Colorado, so I can say that. Coming in at number 8 is Skyline. This doesn't really feel like a festival. Honestly, it just feels more like a party. Production is pretty minimal, but honestly, they do get a pretty decent lineup. However, the crowd there, at least from my experience, me and my friends were up at the rail. We were standing next to each other, we were all in a line, and this girl comes up and just like shoves her hand on the rail in between me and my friends. And like, there's no room. And she's like, do you mind if I put my hand here? And I was like, yeah, I do mind, that's my friend. And then she went off on me. She was like, you're not a girl's girl, you just like, you know, blah, 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 you're terrible, you where's Plur? And I'm like, where's your Plur? Like, you just rammed your head in there. It's one bad experience. It didn't ruin my time at all. But the lineup is good, a lot of house and techno. If you live in California, I'd say easy send. If you don't, I don't know that I'd travel for it. Number 7 is for my trance babies, and that's Dream State. I know if you really love trance, you probably think this is low. This is just my rating because I do love trance, but it's not in my top 3 genres. I love Above and Beyond. Anything Above and Beyond, yes. I don't even know where my tattoo is. Above and Beyond. I just don't want to listen to trance for a whole festival. I will say, however, that they have been getting more adventurous with the lineup. They have like techno artists, like Indira played there, Funk Tribute played. They have more variety and they're kind of expanding, so that makes it really fun to go to. And also the crowd there, elite. The nicest people you will ever meet. I have not had a bad experience there with anyone really. I think because trance is such like lovey music, like such emotional music, like everyone's just all in their feels. There is so much space. Like I've never felt crowded at any of the stages. You can get up to the front if you want. Like everyone's super respectful. It's a really good festival. If you're a shuffler, I know a lot of shufflers love to go to Dream State because there is so much floor space. And they did move it. It used to be at NOS, which I was shitting on earlier. And now it's at the Queen Mary. So it's in Long Beach and it's a much nicer venue. I would say the floors for shuffling are not my favorite. It's like kind of rough, but it's not the worst, it's not the best. And number 6, we have the ABGT Weekender. Now, I already told you guys, I'm an Above and Beyond fan, ride or die. The crowd, immaculate. Everyone is just always good vibes. If you are an Anjuna fan, you know that when you go to an Anjuna event, it's just the best people. So the Weekender is not as chaotic as other festivals because it's really only one stage. They had another stage where they had like day 1 event kind of stuff, and then the main stage, which is at the Gorge, which it's the most stunning venue I've ever been to. Like you're looking at the stage, whether you're on the floor or the hill, and just behind you is just this massive like canyon gorge. Also on the day that Above and Beyond played, I had one of the most surreal laser light experiences of my life. They had all these lights going and I just felt like I was ascending. Like I felt like I was floating. I was like, I'm going to heaven. Like this is what this is. It was unreal. It is a camping thing because there's like no real hotels around. You probably can stay in a hotel, but I think most people camp. And when we went, it was so hot. We were in the RV a lot, like just blasting the AC, trying to survive. You know, honestly, worth it, all things considered. Like that venue is unreal. And number 5, we've got Tomorrowland. I know I'm gonna get shade for this, but I 100% stand by it when I say that Tomorrowland is overrated and overhyped. Come for me. Come on. Did I have fun? Yes. Was it worth all the things that I had to go through, you know, traveling across the world, having to set alarms to make sure that we bought the tickets, having to do global journey and like do the whole mess that we had to do? I don't think so. Let's talk about getting the tickets. That was a whole thing. We did do global journey packages because we had heard that was easier to get tickets, which global journey, basically you get like a hotel and a ticket or a flight and a ticket. Whereas if you just buy a ticket to the festival, it's a lot harder. You're fighting with a lot more people. So we did do global journey and we did the hotel and ticket package. We also were staying in Brussels, that meant, and we had to shuttle an hour into the venue. An hour. That's without traffic. It's an hour away. And the shuttle only runs one time. One time in, one time out. That's it. On the way back, just to get to the shuttles was like an hour walk. So you're walking an hour, you're waiting for the shuttle, and then you're waiting an hour on the shuttle to get home. So I talked about a few of the things that sucked. Now let's talk about a few of the good things. One being the atmosphere tent. The atmosphere tent was the coolest freaking thing I have ever experienced. It's fully dark, which, oh, by the way, in the festivals, mostly during the day. When you go into the atmosphere tent though, darkness. So cool. If you like look up, it just looks like you're looking at stars basically. We honestly spent most of our time there. We also did the Freedom stage and barely any time at the main stage, but a little, you know, we had to see it, which the production, incredible. But here's the other thing, is getting around, not easy. There's some walkways that are only one way and there's not any like open space. It's just pathways. So you kind of just feel like you're in a crowd the whole time. So the lineup is obviously incredible. That's not even a question. The problem was that I think they did a poor job of distributing the artists. All of the artists that we wanted to see, pretty much on day 1. There were a few on day 2 and day 3, but most on day 1. So that meant when we got there, we're on like a strict schedule. Like, okay, we gotta go here, 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 which meant we had like no time to explore. Another good thing actually was the food. Best festival food I've ever had. They even had like full-on restaurants, but I had this like chocolate ice cream waffle thing. It haunts my dreams. It was so good. And I wish every festival had that good of food. It does give it brownie points, but not enough to say that it's higher than number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Proper. Now this is a New Year's Eve festival located here in San Diego. So I have been to all 3 that they've had so far, with the first 2 being the best and the most recent one having a small logistical issue, which I'll get into in a minute. Ringing in the new year with good music and fireworks and friends, that's exactly what I want to do. They really pull out all the stops with the lineup. It's all pretty much house and techno, some progressive. It's insane the amount of people that they get on this lineup. Like really big artists like Eric Prydz, Eli Brown, Boys Noise, Anna, John Summit, Dom Dalla, Mau P, like so many big names. Like you would be happy if a show had 2 of those people on it. So the festival is actually inside Petco Park, which is so freaking cool because you're like inside the stadium. And one of the stages is obviously the field, and then Gallagher Square is on the other side, which is also a cool venue where they have a lot of shows throughout the year normally. And then they also have a stage called The Lot, which is a bit of a walk, but also cool. And then the wall, which the wall's okay. Production, pretty good. I mean, there's fireworks. The stages are pretty cool. It's nothing over the top. Now, it is freezing cold. I think a lot of people come and they think, oh, San Diego, it's so warm, Southern California. No, it's winter. And at nighttime, it is always cold. It does not matter that it's San Diego or that it's warm during the day. It is cold at night, okay? So wear warm clothes. Otherwise, you will spend all your money on merch that you were not planning to buy. So getting back to the incident, this year they were saying that the field was at capacity and they weren't letting any people in. And not only that, but they were blocking off entrances for people to exit. So that seems kind of like a fire hazard. And it just created chaos. And some people who really wanted to be on the field for one of their favorite artists didn't get to be. What I also think was a factor was this year they made VIP really big, like on the field it was really big. I don't think that many people bought VIP thinking that it would be that good. So then you just have all this empty space where people can't go and everyone wants to be on the field, so then it gets overcrowded and chaos ensues. I'll be interested to see how they do things next year because yes, I will be attending again. Number 3, we have Miami Music Week. Now, technically not a festival, but it's the same week/weekend as Ultra. And that means that all the major artists are in town and they do shows at the different venues around Miami. So you can buy a much cheaper ticket for one day, one night at one of these venues to see like 5-6 different artists. It's honestly crazy. We went to Factory Town basically all 4 days that we went, and it was like a mini festival there. Miami's crazy. We saw artists like Indira, Patrick Mason, Eli Brown, Adam Bayer, Leighton Giordani, and honestly so many more. A lot of house artists, Hot Since 82, so many people. And it is Miami, so you will start partying at midnight and go until the sun comes up. So prepare yourself for that. And it is also Florida, so it could rain at any given moment. In fact, we ended up in a storm of some sort. It was pouring so much that Ultra got canceled, but Factory Town didn't. It was a little bit of chaos because like Factory Town had people in there and they were like, oh no, you don't have to leave, but nobody else can come in. So we were all just standing outside in the pouring rain. I had 2 ponchos on, but we did get in and we did have a good time. So that's good. However, I did get the most sick I've ever been at a festival after Miami Music Week. Was it the rain? Was it the lack of sleep? Was it the boy that I was swapping saliva with? We'll never know. And it was 100% worth it. Either way. Number 2, we've got Cross. Now I do feel like this is a very biased answer because I live in San Diego, so I get to go to this all the time. I've literally been to every single Cross since I moved here. So I don't even know how many that is, at least like 7 or 8. Like that's a lot because they have the fall and the spring. The lineup is always decent. sometimes better than others. I love being at Waterfront Park. It's this beautiful park that's on the water basically, palm trees. It's a whole vibe. All of the music is house and techno. They have one stage called Ocean View, which is typically more of like the live music. So some artists that DJ live or play instruments, that's where they're gonna be. I love house music, but the palm stage just gets like crazy, crazy crowded. If I didn't say already, City Steps is the techno stage, Palms is the house stage. So like I said, there's also spring and fall. Spring is actually the cold one. Spring is the one you need to wear a jacket for. And fall is the hot one. It's in September, but it's hot, 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 hot. Did I say it was hot? It's hot. So prepare yourself for that. It does get more and more expensive every year, and they don't really add anything to it, like no immersive experience, not really better stage lighting or production. That would be my one complaint. Okay, wait, I do have one more complaint, and that is that there's a lot of jabronis that go to Cross who don't listen to this kind of music. They just live in San Diego, maybe they go to SDSU or UCSD, and they're just like, yeah, Cross sounds like a fun thing to do. Let's go, let's get fucked up. And they just talk the whole time. There's nothing wrong with talking, but like if you're not there for the music, stay away from me. Sometimes it can be a vibe killer, not always. And I understand that's also how sometimes people get exposed to the music, which reminds me that I would like to give an honorary mention to Day Moves. Day Moves was what I wish Cross was every year. Day Moves was at the same place as Cross or Waterfront Park, but it was only 2 stages, and they kind of just split the artists 50-50. And there were no jabronis there. They didn't know what Day Moves is. You only knew what Day Moves is if you're actively following, fingers crossed, and like paying attention to the scene. And it was just crowd amazing. They got such good artists. I have seen some of my favorite sets at Day Moves, but sadly, they don't do it anymore. Yeah, R.I.P. Day Moves, R.I.P. Oh, hello necklace. Okay, coming in at number 1. I feel like you can guess it. I'm gonna give you a moment to guess. It's EDC Las Vegas. I love this festival so much. This was my very first festival ever. So I was really thrown into the deep end. But honestly, it changed my life forever. It's where I discovered shuffling, fell in love with shuffling. It's the first place I was ever recognized in public. I just have so many memories there. It's just the most magical place. It's honestly its own world. The production is out of this world. You walk into the venue and you're standing on the top of the bleachers and you just see this neon fantasy land. It's also all at nighttime, which I prefer. That was my complaint with Tomorrowland, all daytime. I want to be in darkness. I want night, I want lights, I want lasers. There are so many stages. The lineup is always crazy. It's just really good vibes. I'd say the crowd is always very nice and friendly and loving. You do have some jabronis. You do have some issues. So while I have met some of the nicest people I've ever met at EDC, I have also had some of the craziest experiences I've ever had at EDC. One time I saw this naked guy get tackled. Another time somebody passed out. All these things happen at all festivals, but the thing I'll say about EDC is people are always looking out for each other. I have been to EDC 5 times. I have seen some of my favorite artists there. I always discover new artists there. So fun. And you also have rides, which I love rides. I'm a big thrill junkie, so that's always fun. And just so many other interactive experiences. I remember one was like you laid down on the ground and then it had like cool light visuals and then it was playing classical music. And Pixel Forest, don't even get me started. That is like a sound bath, but better. If you're going to EDC this year, I am so jealous. You're gonna have so much fun. The food is pretty mid. There's some stands that are better than others, but you know, this is just kind of what I come to expect at a festival. Also, I have done both camping and a hotel, and they both have their perks. I think it's just depending on what you're looking for. Camping, you're gonna feel dirty and grubby, but at least you don't have to travel into the venue. But the hotels are actually not that bad, and you get a room darkening curtains and like a real hot shower right in your room. Overall, 5 stars. Is it exhausting? Absolutely. And you will definitely question all your life decisions when you are still up at 6 in the morning watching the sun come up. But it's also just the most magical, unforgettable experience. So there you have it, my completely biased ranking of all the music festivals that I've been to. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You can drag me in the comments. I promise I can take it. Let me know what festivals you have coming up or any festivals that I should go to. I don't really have any specific festivals coming up. I'm going to the Brooklyn Mirage in May to see Sarah Landry. I'm going to Ibiza in July, and then Hard Summer lineup just came out, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really a Hard Summer girly. I've never been, clearly, but that lineup is crazy. Marlon Hofstadt, Maluji, and so many other big artists. Like, I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought that Hard Summer was mostly like bass and dubstep, but that lineup, she got me thinking. So anyways, we'll see. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like it and subscribe because you're helping support my festival addiction. Love you. See you in the next one.